All right. What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another Sunday Stock Watch from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, before we get going, if you're new to the channel and looking to join our awesome community of like-minded traders, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. Any way to make money online and trading in the stock market is what we're all about. Here we have almost 600 of us. Day by day, we keep edging closer and closer, so we'd love to hit that 600 possibly by the end of March. And if you do enjoy this video stream, whenever you see this, definitely make sure to smash the like button as well. But with that, and before I get going, we have a Discord group chat too. That's down in the description box. There's almost like 70 of us in there now. Awesome to see that community grow as well. But we had some news over the last week that I actually kind of missed out on. And before I get into that as well, I just remembered we had some mic issues last week in the last stream, I believe. So I think I got it all fixed, but definitely if the sound at any point starts to get muffly or anything, just let me know. And I'll pretty much just have to end the stream and keep tweaking with it. But hopefully it does not come to that. I believe we finally got that fixed. But this last week, CME Group actually had this whole, because CME Group does a lot when it comes to futures specifically, but CME Group in general has a lot of good just trading articles and stuff like that. And I found out through them and through their YouTube channel that we are going to be having micro E-mini futures essentially. So right now we have E-mini futures, which is your /ES, NQ, CL, all that good stuff. And it takes usually minimum couple $1,000s to really trade those the right way. I mean, to put in perspective, if we were to trade an ES contract, let's just say we bought, I don't know what price point this is right here. Let's see, 2,300. So let's just say we bought it right here where about it's at. It would cost us, after a little bit of fees and commission, $6,600 worth of buying power. And this means you literally have to have $6,600. This doesn't include if you have double the buying power, whatever, because of your margin. Like, you have to have this much in your account, $6,600 bare minimum. And that does not also include, obviously, your few dollars. So just over $6,600 for an E-mini contract currently. Now, with these new micro E-minis, what you're going to be able to do is essentially get more leverage. You're not going to get the same amount of profits. Pretty much just think of everything as in 1/10. So from the /ES E-mini S&P 500 standpoint, like we mentioned, it costs $6,600 essentially to start this trade, just over $6,600. Now with these new micro contracts, this would cost you essentially $660 plus whatever commissions, fees, and all that good stuff. And now each move that we had was $12.50. Now it's only going to be $1.25 with the new micro E-minis. It's going to get confusing here, going from E-mini to micro E-mini. Just stay with me on that, but it can be a tongue twister at times for sure. But the point is everything with the micro E-mini is essentially going to be 1/10. It's going to be 1/10 of the cost to get in. You're going to get 1/10 of the profit loss, just everything. So it's going to be very, very awesome, especially for a lot of you guys, me included, that are trading with smaller accounts under 10 to 20, because I'll go on the record and say I think to trade futures the right way, you need a bare minimum of $10,000 to $20,000 to trade futures the right way. Because even if, say, I had $6,000 to $10,000 in my account, the most I can do is trade one E-mini, one S&P E-mini, because it's $6,600. I'll be able to trade a couple of crude oil, though we did find out about /QM, which is it goes hand in hand essentially with /CL. However, it does cost a little bit less, quite a bit less actually, about 50% less than if you were to trade /CL. See, if we bought right now with it being around 58.425, it would cost you roughly $2,200 after your commissions and fees and whatnot, versus crude oil is right around like $4,200. So I mean, it's literally about 50%. So I mean, there's tons of ways that you can trade with around 10,000. That's why I said minimum 10,000. I mean, even if you're going to trade /QM instead of /CL, I mean, you're not going to want to buy but maybe one contract, because you don't obviously want to put all of your 10 grand into one contract. I mean, into one trade, because that's just silly at the end of the day. But with these minis, these new micro minis that they're going to be coming out with, starting in May of 2019, these are going to become available with S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow, and Russell 2000. I'm sure more will come in the coming months throughout 2019 and into 2020. I'm sure you'll probably see more with oil, gold probably as well. There's a whole bunch of them that I'm sure will follow suit. They're probably just kind of doing this as a test run. Let's see how it works with S&P 500 and everything first. But yeah, I mean, if you go to the CME group and you just type in the frequently asked questions or just type in micro e-minis, it'll pop up. They also have this on their YouTube channel. And let's see. So you can see the multiplier. You see the S&P 500 is $5, like we were discussing, where the E-mini is 50. Like I said, everything, just think of it in terms of it's going to be 1/10. So before, with the E-mini /ES, you're doing 50 times whatever the current price is. With this one, you're going to be doing 5 times instead. And then same thing down here. So let's see. So the contract, that doesn't really matter. We can look at that at another time. The product details, again, like you can see, it's going to still move up 0.25 per point, and each point is going to be 125 worth of profit or loss. So for a whole point or a whole tick, whatever you want to refer to them as, it's going to make you $5 of profit. Like I said, instead of $50, it's going to be $5. Now, this is where I was kind of thinking in the back of my head. Now, how are the fees and commissions? How are they going to go about doing? Obviously, commissions is going to vary from broker to broker, but how are the fees exactly? Like the fees that the brokers don't have control over at the end of the day, like your just basic trading fees that they're all the same. It's usually a few dollars or something like that. How is that going to change now? Because with the current structure, most charge you in and out. You're going to pay somewhere around $4 to $6 on average per contract to get in and out of that position. So I mean, you literally, with these new micros, I mean, for the S&P, for example, a whole tick, whole point, whatever you want to refer to it as, is only going to make you $5 of profit. That means it needs to move 2 whole dollars essentially to the upside before you're even actually in the green. So I'm kind of interested to see how exactly that's going to work, how the fees are going to work on it, how the commissions are going to change. I mean, it's going to have to change some, because either that or it's just not really going to be worth trading at the end of the day. I haven't really read anything in regards to that. It was just something that popped up in my head because I was sitting there thinking. I was like, well, the fees and commissions can be pretty expensive. I mean, let's go back to even this QM one, for example. Let's just say we bought it right here. So you can see your commissions and fees. So I mean, fees, $1.22, you're going to have to multiply that times 2. You're talking roughly $2.45 just in fees alone. And then obviously the commissions. Obviously TD Ameritrade is a little high. I would not trade futures on TD Ameritrade. I would go more to platforms such as Tastyworks. Tastyworks is kind of limited right now, but I look for them to keep expanding as they continue to grow. NinjaTrader. I've done quite a bit of research on NinjaTrader lately. They look like a pretty decent one as well. There's a whole bunch of other ones, even the bigger guys like Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers, in my opinion, is much better than TD Ameritrade. It's a lot cheaper, and I believe they're right around $1, between like $1 to $1.50 in commission. So I mean, you're literally talking about almost half of what TD Ameritrade is. But obviously, even that, I mean, say it's $1. Say you're getting charged $1.50 on each side. That's $3, and plus the $2.44, you're talking $5.50, like we mentioned. At the bare minimum. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the commissions, the fees, everything kind of goes with these new micro e-mini contracts, because like we said, best case scenario, you're still looking at $5 essentially minimum per trade. So you're literally going to have to be up a whole point, a whole tick, whatever you want to refer to them as, before you're even starting to make money, which obviously is not a huge move by any means. But I mean, it is still a decent move where you're trading the bigger, just the E-mini. If we go back to /ES, obviously, if you get a 1 point move to the upside, say we go from 28.30 to 28.31, I mean, you just made $50. So, I mean, if you bought in right here, yeah, you have your $6 they have to cover, but literally just one tick up, you've already covered your commission and you're already in the profit just based off of a 0.25 move to the upside or downside if you're shorting, obviously. But I'm sure you guys kind of get what I'm getting at. It's just they're going to have to do something different with those fees and especially commissions on the brokers end, or else it's just not going to work because people aren't going to be, I don't know. It'll be interesting though to kind of see what they work out with that. But it is still overall exciting to see that you'll literally pretty much anyone can trade these, because I mean, I would still say you probably want to trade a minimum of a couple $1,000s before trading these. I would say that personally, just because again, say the S&P 500 one, for example, it's going to take around $600 to $700 to get in on average. Obviously some brokers are different than others, but like based on just TD Ameritrades and Tastyworks and a bunch of the other ones, if you're going based off the whole 1/10 rule, 1/10 of this is still going to be around 660. So I mean, if you have $1,000 account, in my opinion, it's just not really smart to hop into a trade, a $660 trade that's taking up literally about 66% of your account. It could be worse, obviously, but I still think if you can get your account up to around $5,000, then you might want to consider trading these. And I mean, you got time. It's not until May anyways. We still have about 2 months until this thing gets released anyways. How's it going there, Josh? Can you make money if it goes down? Yeah, you can make, so with the futures market, instead of quote unquote, I mean, you can do options on futures too. I don't really, in my opinion, I don't necessarily see the point quite as much as just buying and selling. So like pretty much you're just quote unquote shorting. So what you do, say you think the market's about to open up here in 15 minutes. You're probably not going to get filled even if you throw it in right here unless it goes up. But say you just think right out of the gate market's going to go down. Instead of going over here to buy, because when you're buying, you're essentially taking a bullish position thinking it's going to go up. Every 0.25 it goes up. In this case, you're going to make $12.50. Instead, you'll just hit the sell, and then you're essentially shorting the S&P 500 at that point. It's going to cost you the same. It's literally pretty much going to cost you the same. It looks like the fees might be just barely less, like 2 cents less. Or no, they're exactly the same. I was wondering, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. But you would essentially just click sell instead, and then at that point, since you have one short position on, you would just watch it as it goes down. You made $12.50, $25, $37.50, and then bam, you made $50 based off 1 point. So yeah, I mean, it works the same. It's just, it's unlike with options where it's kind of up in the air how much profit you're going to get based on the move, because obviously you need it to move in your favor relatively quickly, unless if you're doing kind of, even when you're doing like monthly or quarterly options, which I know a lot of us really don't do. I am very much considering doing them though, just based on a lot of research I've done over the weekend. I was really bored this weekend actually. I traded crypto for a few hours yesterday. You guys in the Discord group chat know. But I mean, I did a lot of research yesterday, and I'm definitely looking more into those monthly and quarterly options, just as kind of a quote-unquote safety net. But what I like about just buying and selling futures is you know how much up front you're either going to make or lose. So it's a lot easier to implement a strategy such as a 3-to-1 ratio, which means, for those of you that don't understand what I just said there, 3-to-1 ratio. 3-to-1 ratio means, say I wanted to buy right here at 2,300 and I got in, well, I mean, not 2,300, 2,830. With a 3-to-1 ratio, I'm pretty much saying I want to get 3 whole points out of this. So my target sell would be 28.33, and if it goes 1 point below, so in this case that would be 28.29. If it reached 28.29, pretty much I'm going to set my stop loss right here, and then I'm going to set my sell at 28.33, and then whichever happens, I'll get filled. Or obviously you're going to be managing your trade. You don't just want to set it on autopilot. That's an easy way to lose money. Say you notice somewhere in between there we have some resistance, then obviously you could sell. But the whole point of like a 3-to-1, 2-to-1, whatever type of ratio is you're pretty much just doing risk management. You just take a look at your chart and just kind of do your risk versus reward. You're like, okay, I want to get 4 points out of it over the next half hour or something. So then you say, so I want 4 points to the upside, and then just based on whatever you see at the time of the chart, you might want to do a 4-2 or 4-1. I would suggest with futures, you're probably going to want to do at least like a 2-1, 3-1 type of ratio for the most part, especially with day trading. But everyone has their own way of trading at the end of the day, and I definitely suggest using your EMA lines. This one right here that I have is an 8 EMA line, and then this one right here is a 34 EMA, and then obviously we have our SMA, which is 180, I believe. So definitely use your lines whenever your indicators such as your EMAs and whatnot. And then obviously you want to have your MACD, RSI. Just, it doesn't have to be too complicated. I'm just saying when it comes to that ratio, it's all about risk management more than anything. So, but yeah, you can make money as it goes down, just like a put. Just instead of buying, you're gonna sell instead. But I'll just kind of let you guys kind of see. Like I said, I'm gonna try to remember to post this link actually. That way you guys don't even have to go search for it. I'll just I'll go ahead and copy it right now actually, and then I will put it in the description box after this video is completed. The stream is completed. So let's see what else we have. Margin details. So there we go. So yeah, like I said, these are going to be the ticker symbols. So on TD Ameritrade, obviously it's going to have a /. So it'd be /MES /MNQ. And what does that mean? Micro, of course. MNQ, MYM, and MRT. And you can see, like we said, you're talking about initial. Initial means this is what you're going to need overnight. So, I mean, this will not change. Maintenance, though, that depends on the broker at the end of the day. But, like, TD Ameritrade, they will pretty much just require, if I remember right, initial. I think Tastyworks will as well. Quite a few of them, their initials, the intraday, pretty much this is intraday, this is overnight, so to speak. So, just bet on always the initial. I don't really necessarily pay attention to just maintenance. I always just factor in the initial because I always want to have more than enough money, of course. But like I said, I still would only trade these if I had somewhere at the bare minimum probably $4,000 in the account. I mean, it's always, you can experiment with them for sure. I mean, say you have $2,000 and you're like, well, I want to kind of throw some skin and get some skin in the game in futures, kind of just start learning the market overall, then by all means go into a futures open a futures account. Most of them do require you open it with $2,000. Tastyworks does not. Tastyworks, you can open it with any money. You just don't get the full margin and everything, all the benefits until you fund it with $2,000. But you can't open a futures account with any amount of money, I found out. And I think there's actually a link in the description box where you can sign up for Tastyworks for those of you that are interested. But yeah, so like I said, for the S&P 500, it'll be 660. NQ, I believe that's the NASDAQ, if I remember right. That'll be 836. This will be the, I believe, Dow Jones, and then this will be your Russell. So you can see, like we said, notational value. So pretty much you are handling, quote unquote handling, kind of like how options work, where you're literally saying you're buying a call for $100, but you're controlling 100 contracts of the stock. Your multiplier is 5. So say the futures price is at 2,786. Your multiplier is by 5. So 5 times 2786. Your notational value is 13,900. So you're controlling essentially $14,000 worth of value with $660. So, and then obviously you have your percentages, which, I mean, doesn't really matter. This is basically, this is why you want to day trade futures. Don't hold a future. Just don't do it. Don't, unless if you're literally planning on swing trading futures. Just if you're planning on day trading, get in and get out. Don't hold it overnight, because then you're gonna start being charged for any margin that's being used. Just day trade futures. Don't try to swing trade them, in my opinion at least. It just gets a lot more complicated at that point. But I mean, yeah, overall it's pretty simple, straightforward. It's gonna have the same rules. You're still gonna be able to trade them pretty much 6 days a week, almost 24 hours, 6 days a week. I think it ends up being like 22 hours, 23 hours, 6 days a week, something like that. So I mean, It would essentially be opening up in about 8 minutes here, 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. But I mean, yeah, that's very exciting overall. I don't know what you guys think. Let's see. And by the way, hopefully our sound quality is doing better. But it looks like there's 5 or 6 of you tuning in right now. Let me know what you guys think about just this idea with the whole micro minis that are going to be coming out here in May. Sounds like first or second week of May, if I remember right. I don't think they have the date exactly pinpointed yet, but I think it's like the second week of May, if I recall. But I think it's a good idea. It's just like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see kind of how they handle the whole fee structure and how the brokers adjust their commissions. I'm not saying they need to adjust their commissions on the current like e-minis, but for the micros, they're not going to be able to get away with charging $2.25 on each side. They're essentially getting $4.50. I mean, like I said, if you go just based off TD Ameritrade's commissions, like I said, the fees are the same pretty much for everyone, but if you go based off TD Ameritrade's commissions, I mean, you're going to have to literally be up an entire 1 to 2 points to make the trade even, break even with your commissions. So it's going to force quite a few of these broker companies to adjust their commission structure, at least for the micros. Like I said, with the minis, they can get away with it because literally after just a 1 tick move, you're going to be in the profit at that point, but they're not going to be able to charge that much when it comes to the micros. And I'm wondering what they're going to do, like the actual, I forget the name of them. Is it FINRA? I don't know if it's FINRA. Who is it that controls that? The fees, all that stuff. How much they're going to charge on that end. Because $1.20, that's still pretty high. It's going to end up being, somewhere around $2. I mean, the fees and whatnot are going to be kind of cloudy. But it'll be interesting to see. I'll start out by paper trading them for sure, just to kind of see how the fees and everything do work. Like I always tell you guys, anytime you're getting into a new market, always start out paper trading. I've been paper trading the actual futures market now, mostly /ES and sometimes /CL, crude oil, and the E-mini S&P 500 futures. I'm going to start doing some QM probably tonight because like I said, this was the one that I was looking at possibly getting into, not anytime too soon, probably still within the next few months minimum. But like I said, what I like about it is it's a lot cheaper to get in. Price right now is $58, $42.50. So I'm gonna say you got in right around there. You're looking at roughly right around $2,200 for one contract. And to see how it moves, oops, I want to send it. You can see at each tick size is 0.025, so 2.5 cents, and each tick value is $12.50, just like /CS. So pretty much every 2.5 cents to the upside this moves, you're gonna make $12.50. So say you had shorted this all day, which would have been crazy to do because it had a low of the day that was much lower than this. But say you had a 10-cent move, you would have made roughly what was that, like $70, $60 to $70 by shorting on that day. So I'll be paper trading some QM probably tonight as well. Just point being, once this happens, don't be that guy that rushes into it, tries to be the first one to submit a trade on these new micro minis. Just paper trade it at first, the first few weeks, especially while they work out the kinks and everything. And who knows, maybe they'll play around with the fees and commissions. But like I said, I mean, I think overall it's going to be a pretty good thing, especially for people with less than $10,000 in their account. I still believe personally it'd be smartest to not trade these until you have somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000, just so you're not tempted to throw your entire account into position. That's never smart at the end of the day, of course. Like I say, you're still going to put up around $600 to $700 for the S&P 500 one, and you're only getting a $5 profit per entire point move. So I mean, let's pull the calculator up just so you can see your actual profit on that $660 position. Let's say fees don't change and you're paying essentially like $665 per contract to get in and out. Say you made a $5 profit only. and you need that whole 2-point move to the upside. $5 divided by your 665 to get in, you're talking still less than 1% of profit. Now, obviously, you're wanting more when you're doing futures contracts trading and whatnot. You're planning on, like I said, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even upwards of 8 to 10 points move to the upside. But I just don't like the fact that based on the fees and commission structures of most companies right now, you're literally going to be out of the money, like profit loss wise, until you have an entire whole point or two move to the upside. It'll just, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. That's my biggest concern. But other than that, I think it's going to be a pretty awesome thing, especially for people that are looking to get into futures but just don't have the capital to do so. Because like I said, to realistically do it the right way right now, you need probably a minimum of $10,000, unless if you're strictly trading like QM, maybe crude oil, /CL, what's some other ones? There's, I believe, /YG is, yeah, the mini gold. That one doesn't take quite as bit of money. I don't know. The TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform has been messing up all day with trying to find that, but I mean, you can go through here on TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. Like I said, if you go down here to futures, so what you do is you just hit this down arrow. There's all these tabs, hit futures. You can see initial margin, how much you're pretty much going to need for everything. Most of them cost minimum of like, most of them that are actually worth trading, I should say, are upwards of $1,000 plus. There are a few in there that are a few $100s that we discussed in our Discord group chat earlier, but for the most part, it's all upwards of 1,000 plus. So I mean, think about it. You don't want to, in my opinion, you don't want to submit more than 10% of your account. 10 to 20%. I mean, that's a heavy size position still. 10 to 20% is a very heavy size for most traders, investors, etc. Submitting 10 to 20% of your account in a trade, I mean, on a $10,000 account, that's $2,000. So I mean, that's literally just barely enough to do /QM, which we were just discussing. So it looks like the futures market just went live. Let's take a look at /QM. That one's currently down a little bit, or actually looks like it might be pushing up right now. Let's take a look at /ES. Looks like the market is starting out down slightly. So like I said, if you are a little bit bear, and so you can see all your volume coming in too. Looks like there is a lot going on right around that 28 right now. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But like I said, overall, with those micro E-mini contracts, I think it's going to end up being a good thing overall. I just think it's going to take a little bit for them to work out the fees and commissions. I'm sure they've been thinking about that. I'm sure I'm not the first one to bring that up, but it'll be interesting to see what they do about it, because I have not heard so far anything yet in regards to that. So, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream so far. If, like I said, if you guys have any questions or any ticker symbols, of course, that you guys ever want me to take a look at, whole point of this is for me to look at stocks that you are interested in. And since I've never actually had a disclaimer, apparently I need to now because I had a comment on a recent video. So I'll just say straight up, disclaimer: if you trade based off anyone's opinion on the internet, you're a dumbass. You shouldn't be trading based off anyone's opinion. You should not be swing trading a stock you have no idea about. You should not be day trading a stock you have no idea about. If you don't know what you're doing, stay the fuck out of the market. Paper trade, do not use your money, and then don't try to put the blame on people. So there's my disclaimer, and I'll probably put that in every video from now on. Had somebody try to come at me about that. That they lost $100 on a trade that I didn't even trade, but that they claimed they traded because of my opinion. And I said, well, sounds like you shouldn't be in the damn market then. But just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. So didn't think I'd have to put a disclaimer, but gotta do what you gotta do. So looks like market kind of trying to figure out what it's going to want to do right now. Obviously Sunday it tends to be a little slow when the market first opens up. Let's see what oil's doing overall right now. Oil looks like it's down also less than 0.1%. So right now, let's see what we got going on here. Our RSI showing stupid overbought. Why, I don't quite understand. But I'd be shorting this right now. I'd try to get in right here at the 58.79 probably. It'll probably come up to around 58.79, 58.78. Get in right here and short it. Obviously, I'm not in my paper trading account, so I'm not going to right now. But yeah, it looks like oil. Let's get this out of the way. Looks like it had a little gap up. So it'll probably pull back a little bit, somewhere around 58.60. So I mean, if you shorted right here and you had that 17-cent move, that's $170 of profit. If it comes down roughly 17 cents. Every move in /CL is a $10 profit loss, of course. So if you shorted right now, right around 58, I would wait until 58.78 personally. I think it's going to hit that. You get in at 58.78, that's an 18-cent move to the downside. That's $180 worth of profit before your commissions and fees, of course. After that, you're probably looking at 175, somewhere around there, depending on who you're trading with. So let's look at our 1 hour chart too. I don't know, this thing might try to run up a little bit further when we look at our 1 hour chart on /CL. I don't know, it might get stopped out here once though. You can see our MACD, it's kind of trying to decide whether it's time to buy or time to sell. They're pretty much right at the point of inversion right now. I should probably do a video about reading the MACD for a lot of you newer people. So this blue line is pretty much your buy line. This yellow whitish colored line is your sell. So once this blue line would cross that white line, that would signal time to buy if you go based on MACD only. And then once the yellow is crossed like it is right now, that's when you kind of start to see a little bit more of selling, which you can see the selling really started picking up as this gap in between those two lines got further apart. RSI is kind of iffy right now. So you can see right now it's up to 58.81 right now. See what the market. I'm kind of on edge when it comes to the overall market tomorrow, /ES. My gut's telling me it's probably going to be a down day tomorrow, but it seems like every time the market opens down, especially on Sundays, by just 1/10 to 0.2%, it seems like it always turns itself around and goes up by morning. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. But the reason why I was thinking that was because at first our 1 hour chart was showing oversold. Now it's starting to show that it's probably going to sell a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see us down early on, about 0.25%. That would give us room to run tomorrow. So we'll see what happens though. But we're the highest we've been so far, I believe, this year now. Going back to like January. Yeah, I mean we're pretty much at the high of the year so far, year to date. Our indicators aren't really helping right now though. But yeah, on that note, other than that, I don't really have anything for you guys this evening. The only thing that I'm holding right now personally is some Adobe. You guys know I bought a couple shares, just a couple shares on that earnings report. Like I said, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Salesforce. It reminded me of, who else was it? There was another company I thought I played, Square. It reminded me of a couple earnings plays that I played where earnings was good. Guidance on this one could have been slightly better, but I mean, it wasn't bad by any means. Stock was a little bit overbought going into the earnings, so I mean, it makes sense that we pulled back here where we pulled. We're right around that 34. We're right around that 34 SMA, 34 EMA. So I look forward to probably bounce and probably go upwards. My target sell is somewhere around 270. I'm in right now a little high, but I'm right around, I think it's 261 or 262. So I'm down overall about $9 or $10 on that position. Nothing crazy. It's only a few hundred. It's what, about a $600 position. Well, no, not even that. About a $500 position. But other than that, I'm not holding anything right now. Only thing I'm really looking at doing personally is maybe, depending on how the market opens up tomorrow, is maybe doing a little bit of a longer term call or put position. Right now my gut's leaning towards the calls, but because I feel like we're going to just continue this upward trend for a little bit and try to retest 290, 280, 288 to 290. But, I mean, we've been on a decent little run here the last week or so. Obviously, we had that good little pullback the week before. But my gut's telling me that we're probably going to keep going forward this week. So, I'll probably end up placing a call. It's just I hate buying. I don't know about you guys. I just hate buying calls when the market's up on the day. I like trying to get stuff on sale. Whole points, buy low, sell high, right? But we'll just kind of see what happens tomorrow or Tuesday, and we'll kind of go from there. But and then overall, I'll just keep paper trading the futures for now, and we'll kind of see what goes on from there. But like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below and turning on those notifications. We go live usually every couple days at the minimum. I try to go live as much as possible, but we usually do every few days at the minimum. And we always do a Sunday stock watch every single Sunday, unless if I'm sick or something crazy in life is going on. And we have a Discord group chat that is down in the description box. But on that note, I will go ahead and start wrapping the stream up. Like I said, the whole point of today's was just we found out about these micro E-minis that are going to be coming out in May. This is really going to change kind of the complexity, not necessarily the complexity, but just how the futures market works overall. I think you're going to have a lot of newbie traders flooding the futures market when it comes to these micros. The only thing I'm worried about, like I said, is fees and commissions, because like we were saying, I mean, you're going to need essentially a whole point move to the upside, 1 to 2 point entire point, not just a 0.25. You're going to need 1 to 2 whole point move to the upside before you're even in the profit based on the current profit loss that you'll get. So it'll be interesting to see. But like I said, I think overall it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an awesome new way to trade. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the video. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. And I'll probably see you guys again tomorrow or Tuesday for another live stream. But until then, take it easy, guys.